we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks so much for joining us tonight with the Applying to Minds webinar. My name is Corinne Rigorda-Ava. I'm one of the assistant directors here in the admissions office at Colorado School of Mines. We are going to kick it off with a little overview of tonight's agenda. Luke, I'll have you slide forward on that one. Thank you. So tonight we're going to do a welcome from our interim director, Jen. She's here with us. And then after that, we'll go ahead and have a brief info session here, about a 30-minute session there. We'll kind of talk about all things mines and the application process itself. After that, we'll leave just about 30 minutes for a Q&A session from you all. We actually have admissions folks in the background here ready to answer any questions that you do have. So just logistics tonight, you will notice that we are using the Q&A feature. So at the bottom of your screen in that ribbon, please utilize that Q&A feature anytime during the info session or during that Q&A time to ask questions, and our admissions staff will be on hand here to help out. After that, we'll kind of wrap up with some upcoming events, things we're excited about, and some important reminders. But other than that, I'll go ahead and hand it off to our interim director, Jen.
Thanks so much, Corinne, and hi, everybody. We're so excited that you've joined us to learn a bit about mines and what it takes to complete your application and next steps on your way to becoming an ore digger. I've been at mines since 2017. I have worked in a couple different offices here, and so I know that this can be a really stressful time of year because most of you are seniors. And for the family members that are here, thank you so much for supporting your student. So as you are diving into this process of applying to college, I want you to know that we are here to help you. That's why we're doing this webinar. We have an amazing team who are here to support you and to answer any questions that you might have. We want this to be a really transparent process about what we're looking for and how we're going to review your application, but it doesn't stop tonight. This is the start of this process. And so please reach out with any questions, ask questions tonight, but then also feel free to email us, contact us, come visit us. And we really look forward to having you on campus and ideally as an ore digger next year. So enjoy. Thanks again for joining us and have a wonderful evening.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Applying to Minds webinar. My name is Luke Contreras. I'm the Assistant Director for Undergrad Admissions. Thank you so much to Corinne and Jen, as well as all of our staff members behind the scenes answering your questions today. And thank all of you for joining us today. As Jen said, applying to colleges is an exciting time, but a little bit of an overwhelming time. And we really hope that tonight's webinar not only gives you a great introduction to how the college to mines and the college search process for mines, but maybe some tidbits of good information to take on your college search process as a whole. So truly excited for you all to be here, and let's get rocking and rolling. So Colorado School of Mines, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, and I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. Probably one of the weirdest, most unique names of a university that you're potentially considering. You maybe got an email from us or a postcard from us and you saw School of Mines. What the heck does that even mean? Well, back in 1874, the Colorado economy was all about the gold rush. Golden, Colorado was the territorial capital of our state, and the governors and the leaders of Colorado were like, you know what? We need more miners. There is gold in them hills, and we want to bring them out and help boost the economy. So in 1874, Colorado School of Mines was founded to bring more mining and understanding about getting resources from the earth. But as the world has evolved, as humanity has evolved, so have we. We have evolved to becoming one of the premier STEM institutions for all facets of STEM. We have come out of the ground and still honor our legacy with our mining engineering program and several other legacy majors that are very well known. And we've also taken to the stars through other programs like mechanical engineering, our aerospace concentration, as well as our space resources minor. So Colorado School of Mines is the true ode to our legacy. And we are super excited that this year we're celebrating our 150th birthday, which is, fun fact, is the sesquicentennial. if you're curious about that word or down the road. But we are truly excited to celebrate that. And we're excited that you all are here today. And to kick off our webinar, I want to show a quick video to kind of show to you why students choose Colorado School of Mines.
I don't think many people come here by accident, because this is so much more to me than just another engineering school.
Everybody here is really invested in what they do, and it makes it so much easier to push through all of the difficult times when you know that we're all learning together and contributing towards something that we actually care about.
It's not every day that I can talk to someone about like some circuit I'm designing and they get just as excited as me.
All the students are really nice and welcoming, and if you're ever having trouble in a class, there's going to be 10 other students who are there to help you.
Faculty, professors, advisors, they are all here to support you and make sure you succeed, and they will do the best that they can to make sure that you reach your potential at this school.
I really love the small town feel, which is where I came from, and just the close-knit love and respect that we have as ore diggers for each other.
Most of my experience at this school has been characterized by being able to freely follow my passions and be able to find myself in like energy engineering, and find myself in music at mines, and find myself in sustainability at mines.
We have every resource at our disposal. If you want to learn how to weld, you can weld. If you want to learn how to use a 3D printer, there's someone always there to help you.
We have over 200 clubs and organizations, sports. You could do just about anything here on campus and off campus too.
My first week here was just overloaded with the amount of things that I could go to get free food, to meet new people, and I must have gone to at least 20 different club meetings. It was a really strong community that started my freshman year and is held strong all the way through.
Some of the traditions, especially M-Climb, are really amazing.
Singing the fight song together and just getting to feel that sense of, coming back to campus. It's like how I start the school year is, go to the M-Climb, and it just makes me feel more at home.
It's really exciting to see the next generation of students come through and show them, hey, we're already a family. It's day one, but Mines is here for you.
Just in general, for my future, I believe Mines has been a super critical part of developing as a human being.
Being an ore digger means working hard. It means never giving up. It's okay to mess up, it's okay to fail, and that just gives you an opportunity to learn and grow.
It means being a problem solver, to want to solve problems, to want to help others. Coming here, we're solving the world's problems.
A part of life is trying to find people who understand you and get excited about the same things as you do. And that's what I found here at Mines.
All righty. So this first part of this presentation, we really want to introduce you to who we are. And we're going to start with the basics. And when you think about Colorado School of Mines and you're thinking about the very basic thing about us, you got to look at our location. Colorado School of Mines is located in beautiful Golden, Colorado, which exists on the far west side of the Denver metropolitan area. Golden is a town that embraces the fact that a university is only 2.5, 3 blocks from its downtown district. The town supports us, and we support Golden every day of the year as a proud member of the community. Now, I don't know if you all know this, but Golden is actually home to the greatest day of the year. And I know that's a super bold statement to say, but let me explain why. I'm assuming that a lot of you on this webinar tonight have experienced the true excitement of a golden retriever. And the reason why I mention that is because every February we celebrate National Golden Retrievers Day. And one of the ways that Golden celebrates that is Goldens in Golden, where the first Saturday of February, 3,000 golden retrievers and their owners invade our downtown district, and downtown Golden with 3,000 golden retrievers truly becomes the happiest place on earth. And I've been to Disneyland, and trust me, there is no place happier than Golden on Goldens and Golden Day. It is a town with a great local vibe, a great local feel. And if you ever get the opportunity to come visit us, definitely encourage you to budget some time to explore downtown Golden. Now, Golden is part of the Denver metro area. The Denver metro area is of about 2.5 million people. It is a home to a lot of STEM companies. So that means a lot of internship opportunities, but it's also just a great place to live. All major sports leagues are represented here in Denver, Colorado. NBA champions Denver Nuggets call Denver home. We're about to kick off the Broncos season. And we also have an amazing hockey team with the Colorado Avalanche. And well, we also have the Rockies for baseball. One thing that we love about Golden is if you're a huge fan of live music and concerts, you are 15 minutes away from the greatest place on earth to catch a concert. It's a little amphitheater called Red Rocks. And if you ever get a chance to go to a Red Rocks concert, it will absolutely change your life. Golden is also a great launching point to explore the outdoors. We are right on Interstate 70, which is the east-west running interstate in Colorado, and you are truly an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on traffic, from some of the best skiing in the world, and to truly explore the best playground, which is the Rocky Mountains here in Colorado. Now, let's talk about Colorado School of Mines. When I describe School of Mines, especially when it's talking about its size, I like to describe us as the Goldilocks University. Not too big, not too small, just right. So we have roughly 5,400 undergrads and about 1,600 graduate students. So at any one point, there's roughly 7,000 total students on our campus. Now, we are a public university in Colorado, but there are a lot of out of students who seek us and come to us and study here. When you look at the student body as a whole, 45% of our students are from outside Colorado. When you look at this first-year student class that just started classes this week at Mines, 50% of them are from outside of Colorado. So if you're looking at Mines and you're potentially living outside of Colorado, you should know that a lot of people come here and you're going to find a great community of other folks from all across the country and across the world. We do have 50 states represented. Finally got someone from Delaware, so we could say that we do have all 50 states proudly on our campus. Now, we believe that small school experience truly translates to the classroom. Your student faculty ratio is about 16:1. Average class size, your first year at Mines will be right about 34 students per class. And then as you progress through your undergraduate degree, that average class size will drop. And many times when you get to your third or fourth year here at Mines, your classes are going to be in the low 20s. One thing we love is you're going to learn from our faculty. 97% of our faculty at Mines, 97% of our classes at Mines are taught by faculty. So you are going to learn from the best of the best. And the coolest thing about our faculty is not only are they terminal degree holders, which means they've hit that high degree in their academic field, but a lot of them have industry experience. Dr. Angel Mahmoud, who is the department chair of our Space Resources program here at Mines, is an international expert on planetary defense. So he literally prepares the world for Armageddon style or apocalyptic style events and works with international space agencies to prepare us for who knows what. He's kind of like Jeff Goldblum from Independence Day. A little bit nerdy, but always there to save the world at the same exact time. We also believe that this academic experience should be accessible to all students from all identities. And wherever you come from or however you identify, we believe this campus is welcoming for you. Now, you might see some of the numbers on this slide. For example, you might see that 32% of our students on campus are women, and you might think to yourself, that's a little bit low. You're right. And we work every day, every year to grow that number. However, when you look at us compared to other STEM universities, women typically make up 1/4 of their student population. So we're really excited that almost 1/3 of our students at Mines are women. And this year we welcomed the largest percentage of women students in the history of Mines, which is right about 33 to 34% of our incoming first year class. So we're really excited to see students from all identities finding Mines as their academic home for higher education. Now, when we talk about academics, y'all, we are proud nerds in the mountains. That is a great way to describe a School of Mines student. The word nerd is not a 4-letter word, it is a way of life. Now, we offer over 40 undergraduate degrees in STEM. So all of our bachelor degrees fall under the umbrella of science, technology, engineering, and math. And you're going to find a whole variety of STEM degrees. You'll find commonly known degrees like computer science, mechanical engineering, civil engineering. You'll find some niche sounding degrees like mining engineering, petroleum engineering, quantitative biosciences and engineering. But as long as you want STEM, Mines is the best school for you. Now, one of the coolest things about Mines and about the application process is when you apply to Mines, you apply to the university as a whole. You don't apply to a specific degree, you apply to us as Mines. And what that does is that, one, lessens the pressure of picking a degree. When you get admitted to Mines, you're going to be admitted to all of our degrees. Every single one of our majors is now at your academic disposal. We do not cap our majors. We do not have competitive majors. The second thing that we love to talk about is we don't force you to pick a degree until you're ready. You have your first 2 years to find your best academic passion when it comes to STEM degrees. So if you need multiple semesters, we can help build an academic experience for you to taste a little bit of everything. So that way, by the time you reach the end of year 2 at Mines, you're ready to commit to a degree. You do see a lot of great other stats here on this slide. The one I love to highlight is the 60+ programs for studying abroad. I think sometimes studying abroad has a connotation that it's not really STEM friendly, that only like humanities students study abroad. But Mines has found the perfect formula to go abroad if you want to do that as a STEM student. And one of our programs is actually so unique, you can actually study abroad your very first semester of college. You and 30 to 35 other first-year Mines students could potentially spend your very first semester of college in Antibes, France, which is right on the French Riviera. It's a competitive program. It's a lot of students apply for it, but it's a super cool opportunity to study abroad as early as your very first semester of college. Our faculty talk a lot about how we do not build classroom engineers and scientists, but rather real-world engineers and scientists. And what I mean by that is there's going to be a lot of hands-on learning opportunities. Almost every class you take here has some sort of hands-on learning component, but we have our signature experience academic opportunities that are solely about hands-on learning. And I want to show you a quick video that dives into that a little bit more.
Colorado's School of Mines has 4 key academic programs designed to help you succeed, no matter where life takes you. Built around open-ended problem solving and teamwork, you can explore and pursue your academic and professional interests to customize your college experience. All first-year students take Cornerstone Design the first year they join the Ore Digger community. This course immediately gets you thinking about how to tackle complex, open-ended problems while developing professional skills. You'll work on a multidisciplinary team to address a real-world challenge. Recent examples include designing mechanisms for ocean cleanups, repurposing infrastructure and waste reduction, and improving bicyclist safety, where one team designed a helmet that measured impact to monitor a rider's risk of concussion. At Mines, you'll have access to some of the best equipment in the best fabrication facilities and research labs in Colorado. Even as an undergraduate, you can work with our esteemed faculty members and make a difference in research that's changing the world. Our professors are approachable and supportive, ensuring that you are equipped with the right skills and knowledge while working on projects you're passionate about. Cassandra is working in the Colorado Fuel Cell Center, where she's testing fuel cells in extreme conditions and trying to advance fuel cell technology. In addition to class credit and research assistantships, we also provide opportunities like the Freshman Research Initiative and the Mines Undergraduate Research Fellowship to help you get started on groundbreaking research. Current students will often tell you that field session is the reason they love their major. This immersive course is typically held in the summer of your 2nd or 3rd year. This is a hands-on experience where you apply your coursework in the field, oftentimes addressing a challenge posted by an industry partner. Field session helps hone your skills as a scientist, mathematician, or engineer, and helps build your professional network. Geophysics students recently spent 2 weeks at Mother Spring in Pagosa Springs, Colorado, where they use techniques including seismic gravity, electromagnetics, and ground demonstrating radar to gather and analyze data, and then presented their findings, which further characterized this large geothermal system in the upper San Juan Basin. Finally, capstone design concludes your time at Mines. This is your chance to apply all your skills to a specific multidisciplinary challenge. You and your team may work with a client or an industry partner, or could participate in a national engineering competition. Students have designed canoes made of concrete, formula racing cars, hyperloop pods, and smart showers. Our human-centered design studio challenges teams to develop adaptive equipment for people with disabilities, like handicapped ski gear and mobility aids. We even have a team converting a 1970s Volkswagen bus from gas to electric. Your capstone project will distinguish you from other engineers as you near graduation. Together, these signature experiences help you define your career aspirations and give you the tools to navigate whatever path you choose.
All right. So you heard a lot about some of our hands-on learning opportunities, but there are so many more great examples of these amazing projects that our students get to do. I would encourage all of you to either scan this QR code or write down that URL, mines.edu/academics. And when you have some free time, look at your major, look up some cool opportunities or some cool projects that students of degrees that you're interested in studying have done here at Colorado School of Mines. Now, no matter what university you choose, no matter what school you go to, my number one piece of advice is find your people, find your crew, and find your entourage. Now, I want to be real with everybody on the webinar tonight. I did not go to Colorado School of Mines. I studied political science, which we can all agree, not a real science. And so no STEM school is teaching that. I went to a university of almost 35,000 students, so quite a bit larger than Mines. But I can tell you confidently that although Mines is a little bit smaller, and although Mines is a little more niche in its academics than most universities in the country, the community here is second to none. We have some of the most amazing students with the most amazing passions, thus making a truly amazing community. And there's going to be awesome opportunities and endless opportunities for you to meet your people. We've over 250 clubs and organizations that range from fraternities and sororities to pre-professional clubs that allow you to network within the industries. One of the coolest pre-professional clubs I've actually got to meet some students from is the Theme Park Engineering Club. This club is all for students who want to take their STEM degrees and go work at a theme park. A couple of our student athletes actually interned with the Disney Imagineers and worked on the Tron Legacy coaster that recently opened at Walt Disney World Resort down in Florida. That's just one example of these awesome pre-professional clubs. We also have a lot of for fun clubs. We have a charcuterie club. Hopefully you all know what charcuterie is, Lunchables for adults. We got a club for students that love meat and cheese platters. We got lots of outdoor adventure clubs, ice cream club as well. Also lots of performing arts, marching band, concert band, Mines Little Theater, and lots of vocal ensembles as well. We are also, believe it or not, an athletic powerhouse in the NCAA Division II. The smart kids can play ball. Men's and women's basketball teams are often competing in our national tournaments. Our football team is a national title contending team. We made it to the national title game last season, and it was an amazing historical moment for the university. One of the coolest traditions our football team does is every player wears a sticker on the back of their helmet with their degree right there on their helmet. So that way, when we get to sack the opposing quarterback, when he gets up, he gets to see he got taken out by a computer science student or a mechanical engineer or electrical engineer, or hey, just a reminder, you're getting beat by a bunch of nerds. So it really is just a fun tradition that we do here at Mines. It's truly something that we are proud of, our athletics here at Mines. A lot of ore digger pride. Now, every single one of you will live on campus. We have a 1-year live-on requirement, so you're going to live in the residence halls. You're going to find your people. You're going to find your community. And then obviously getting outside, getting outdoors is a truly amazing opportunity that Colorado has to offer. Every single student will get a free RTD pass, which is the mass transit system here in the Denver metropolitan area. And that can get you to downtown Denver. That can get you all the way out to our airport. as well as even up to a town called Boulder, Colorado, that you can go experience some of the awesome local flair that Colorado is known for. But now let's dive into the logistics. Let's dive into the meat of this, how to apply to Minds. Now, the vast majority of you are seniors, which it's probably kind of crazy to think you have either just started or are about to start your last year of high school. And I know that a lot of you are probably in the get me out of Dodge mode. I'm ready to leave high school. But I do want to make sure to remind you, enjoy your last year of high school. I was in marching band in high school, and without a doubt, it was my favorite season as being a part of my marching band was my senior year. So I know we're looking forward, but don't forget to enjoy your senior year at the same exact time. But let's talk about applying to Minds. Let's talk about what does it take to become a student here. As an admissions counselor, we get asked the number one question we get asked is, what do you look for in an applicant? And honestly, I answer with one word: everything. At Minds, we use something called the holistic review. Now, a lot of universities are going to say holistic review. So you might be wondering, what does that mean? Well, holistic equals whole person. So when a university says holistic review, that means when we evaluate your application, we're looking at you as a full person, as a whole person. This slide shows you an awesome diagram of all the different criteria or all the different items of the holistic review that we are going to look at. We're going to look at where you're from, the high school you go to, the classes you took in high school. We're going to look at the rigor of the classes you took in high school. Hopefully you all know what rigor means, right? That's the difficulty or the challenging nature of the class. We love AP classes. We love IB classes. We love honors classes, and we love dual enrollment, which are essentially college classes you take while in high school. We are known for being kind of a challenging school, so we want students who have that academic initiative. We're going to look at your involvement, right? What were you involved in? What kind of clubs, organizations, sports, music? What were you in the Scouts? What did you do outside of the classroom? We want to get a sense of that. Did you potentially volunteer? Interest in STEM. That's a big deal, right? You gotta like STEM. That's all we have when it comes to academics. So we hope you have an interest in that as an academic field. Interest in Minds is a huge part of the process. For us smaller schools, we get a finite number of seats that we can offer for admission, right? And so we want to admit students who are interested in us. And one of the best ways to show that is attending events like today. We do not take this webinar for granted, or the fact that you're giving your time today to learn a little bit more about us. And so for all of you that attended today's webinar, when you apply to us on your application, it will say attended the How to Apply to Minds webinar on August 24th. That is an awesome thing, and it's right there for all of us to read when we evaluate your application. We do suggest for best consideration 2 letters of recommendation. Please don't break the record that one person sent me. One person sent me 14 letters of recommendation. 14. There's no school in the world that needs 14 letters of recommendation. 2 is all we need and is strongly suggested for best consideration. We will look at if you worked. So if you did have a job while in high school, let us know about that. And then on our application, we will have 2 short essay responses. Now, we like to describe these essay responses as strongly encouraged. Let me translate that for everybody on this webinar. Do them anyway, because the more we know about you, the better. Not only the better for admissions, but potentially better for scholarships. Plus, another way to show demonstrated interest is filling out the strongly encouraged short essay responses. So please take the opportunity to fill those out and take those seriously. Now, let's talk about academics. So we do need a transcript from your high school. We will take an unofficial transcript or an official transcript. Either works for us. On the far side, you do see our accepted student profile. So let's go through some of these numbers. Our average incoming GPA is an unweighted 3.85. Now, I just earlier talked about how we love APs and IBs and dual enrollment classes, and some of your schools might give you a weighted GPA for those tougher classes. So your GPA might be above a 4.0, but then if we we will then bring it down to an unweighted GPA. And for some of you, you might be a little bit weary. You're like, wait a second, that means my GPA falls below a 3.85. Does that make me ineligible for Mines? No, it does not make you ineligible, because we all know how averages work, right? Some are a little bit above, some are a little bit below. The average is just kind of a calculated number. Let's say you have a 3.6 or a 3.7 GPA, but you've taken a lot of challenging courses. We're absolutely going to take that into consideration. We want to see students who challenge themselves. So don't worry about that. Don't forget about that fact there. Now, I am going to say my 4 favorite words of the presentation. We are test optional. We do not need the ACT. We do not need the SAT. Now, for some of the parents on this call, or folks that have maybe had an older sibling look at university, that might be a whole paradigm shift, right? Because for a lot of us, we've had it shoved in our face that these exams define our future. At Colorado School of Mines, we believe that the greatest indicator for your academic success is your GPA, because that's who you are every day versus who you are on a random Saturday for a random few hours, right? Now, if you like taking tests, props to you. And if you choose to take the exams, props to you again. But what I would do is I would look at the score you get. And if it's near our averages, feel free to send them our way. If it's not near our averages, don't worry about it. Just apply test optional. And if you apply test optional, we will never assume you're a bad test taker. I'll repeat that again. If you apply test optional, we will never assume you're a bad test taker. Plus, we are test optional for admissions and test optional for scholarships. Now, there are 2 ways you can apply to Mines. There is the Golden App and the Common App. The Golden App is the Mines-specific application. The Common App is a cool tool that almost 1,000 universities use nationwide. We do not prefer one over the other. Just apply to us. So, if you're debating, do I do the Common App or the Golden App? Don't stress about it. Just pick one, choose one, roll with one. Now, the most important column on this slide is under the must-haves. There are certain classes that you have to have evidence of either be currently taking or to be done taking by the time you apply to us. Once again, you have to prove to us that you're either in trigonometry or pre-calculus, or have completed trigonometry or pre-calculus, or are currently in chemistry and or physics, or have completed chemistry and or physics. These are integral. These are like, imagine these being like the tickets on an airplane. If you don't have the ticket, you're not getting on the flight. So if you don't have these classes on your transcript, whether they're in progress or completed, you're not going to get reviewed by our team. So please get that done. Now, don't stop with those maths either. If you completed those classes, let's say by your 3rd year of high school, so your 4th year of high school, your senior year, you're like, yeah, no math, no science, I'm good. Wrong. We want to see 4 years of math, 4 years of science. We're a STEM school. We want to see that on your transcript. 80% of the students who come to Mines have completed at least Calc 1 or higher. So please, continue those advanced math classes if able to do so. Now, our application went live on August 1st, or will go August 1st of your senior year. We will have 2 deadlines, a November 1st deadline and a January 15th deadline. If you remember anything from this presentation, you got to apply to us by the 1st of November. I will repeat, you got to apply to us by the 1st of November. Now, whether you apply today or you apply on Halloween, you're looked at the same way. But let's be honest, applying for college on Halloween does not sound fun. So I encourage you to apply to colleges by no later than mid-October, just to get everything into us. You got to apply to us early. I can't emphasize that enough. Now, I also want to quell any nerves We are a non-binding admission school. So if you apply to us early, get into us early, you are not bound to attend Minds. Some universities roll that way, we do not. It's just an opportunity to know early, to plan early, and to rock and roll. Also, if you apply to us by the 1st of November, we guarantee you'll get a decision by no later than the 21st of December. If you wait to apply to us till after November 1, you will not hear back from us till March 1st. That's a long time. Plus, you have to commit to a university by the 1st of May. So give yourself 4 to 5 months to make this decision and not 8 weeks. So please apply to us early. And finally, what's next? That's the investment, right? Paying for college is a huge part of the conversation these days. I feel like every time you get onto the news or you get onto social media, there's always a debate about whether or not higher education is worth it. At Minds, we believe in this investment, and let's talk about that investment. Right off the bat, I'm going to show you the total cost of attendance. We are a public university, so there's an in-state rate and an out-of-state rate. I'm going to be real honest for everybody that live outside of Colorado. Colorado has very strict residency laws. That is not a Minds rule. That is a state of Colorado rule. So please, if you have questions about residency, give us a call. We'll talk more. But you do see our costs here, our in-state rate and our out-of-state rate. Now let's talk about how we help make this a little bit more affordable. First of all, we offer scholarships, and we offer scholarships 2 different ways. The first way we offer scholarships are called our automatic consideration scholarships or merit scholarships. These awards you see on the screen are solely based on what you share in your application. So your application to Minds actually double counts. It counts as both an admissions application and a scholarship application. So you'll automatically be considered for one of these awards. And if you get one of these scholarships, you'll find out at the point of admission. Plus, these scholarships are renewable, which means you'll get it every year for 4 years. Now, you may ask, how do I get on the higher end of these ranges? And that is, you got to do the number one thing we all hate to do. You've got to brag about yourself. You've got to brag and be proud of everything you've done in high school. It's not being cocky. It's advocating for who you are. I might have a handful of Kendrick Lamar fans on the webinar tonight. And I know he has a song about being humble, but when you apply to colleges, don't be humble. Be proud of who you are, advocate for the cool stuff you've done, and hopefully we get you one of these bigger scholarships. But like I said, you'll find out if you got one of these at the point of admission, and these are renewable. The second way we offer scholarships is if you apply to us by the 1st of November, notice that, if you apply to us by the 1st of November and get accepted to Minds, you will then have access to the general scholarship application. The general scholarship application is an opportunity to apply for additional scholarships that only Minds accepted students can apply for. Some of these are a few $1,000. Some of these are potential full tuition opportunities. So apply to us by the 1st of November, so that way you can then apply for additional scholarships. Last but not least, another way to pay for school is financial aid. That's through something called the FAFSA, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. For the current seniors of the class of 2024, I don't know if you know this, but the federal government is unveiling a new FAFSA this year. And as of August 24th, 2023, this many universities have seen that FAFSA. And so it's going to feel a little bit like building the plane while flying. We also don't know when it will be released. It's usually released October 1st of your senior year of high school, but the federal government has already said it'll probably be mid to late December. So if you choose to fill out the FAFSA, all I'm going to say is we're going to be doing this together, and we have an awesome financial aid office here at Minds that will work with you as well. And last but not least, before we open it up for Q&A, if you invest in something, you want to see the return on your investment. And this slide is just the tip of the iceberg on the return on a Minds investment. Average starting salary for our bachelor degree holders is $76,000 a year. That's the highest average starting salary of all four-year schools in Colorado, and usually puts us in the top 5 to 7% of all universities in the country. Now, there's a lot of cool slides. There are a lot of cool stats on this slide, but the best stat is that 1,300 plus companies actively recruit on our campus a year. Why is that the best stat? Because more companies recruit in our campus a year than students we graduate each year. I'm gonna repeat that. More companies recruit in our campus a year than students we graduate in a year. There is a true, honest, powerful reverence to Colorado School of Mines in the STEM industry. We have some amazing, powerful alumni out there that got an amazing foundation because of the awesome academic experience, the powerful community, and we would love for you to join us in the fall of 2024 as our new incoming class. I gave you a lot of information over the past little bit, and now I want to open it up to you all to ask questions. So Corinne's going to come back live to ask some questions over the camera between me and her. And then, as we mentioned earlier, a lot of our teammates are in the Q&A answering your questions via that feature of the Zoom webinar. Corinne, I'm going to throw it to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Luke, for that presentation. And as Luke said, thank you all for all of your wonderful questions. Please continue with our last 20 or 15 minutes or so to ask those questions in the chat there in the Q&A. But we have a ton of great questions that we're going to try to get through. So first and foremost, there was a ton of talk about scholarships, Luke. So could you please help talk more about merit scholarships versus general scholarships and help people understand the difference there?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Colorado, let's start with scholarships is kind of a ubiquitous term, right? Like it's kind of this big umbrella term. When you're looking at mines, let's just say, I'm going to narrow it down. There are 3 types of scholarships that you could potentially use at mines. And I'm going to go through them real quick. First is the merit scholarships, which you saw on the ranges. Those scholarships are just based on your admissions application. Those are just based on your admissions application. By just applying to us, you're automatically considered for that. So every one of you will be considered after you apply to us, both for admissions and scholarships. The second way we offer, the second scholarship opportunity to help pay for Colorado School of Mines is the general scholarship application, which is that one that you'll apply to after you've been admitted if you apply to us by the 1st of November. Those scholarships are funded by donors to mines. We have an awesome alumni base, awesome donor base that wants to give money to incoming students. So that is an additional application that you will fill out after you've been accepted. Those scholarships, you will find out if you've gotten any of those, usually in March or April of your senior year. Now, those are the 2 ways that we offer scholarships, but you're probably thinking, yo, he introduced a third way, or a third scholarship opportunity. The third scholarship opportunity is not through mines. That is through outside scholarships. So there are a lot of organizations, companies, groups that want to give money to seniors going to college. Those scholarships, you're going to have to apply for outside. What I mean by outside is they are not affiliated with mines. I had an old colleague at another university that used to say, apply for a scholarship a day to maybe keep the loans away. I know that you're already busy. I know you're doing a lot already, but looking for scholarships is I would make it your part-time job after you apply to colleges. So after you apply to colleges, apply for outside scholarships because there's a lot of money out there. I think Corinne shared with our team that last year, almost $100 million of outside scholarships or privately funded scholarships went unawarded because not enough students applied for those. So I strongly encourage you to apply for mines, for our merit scholarships, get it on time and apply to us so you can take advantage of our general scholarship application. And then on your own time, don't forget to budget time to look for outside scholarships.
Thank you, Luke. And our next question, lots of students are wondering about maybe if they aren't offered AP classes at their high school, or they're just not sure how to kind of express the rigor of their classes. How can they do that, or how might we see that?
Yeah, so we recognize that everyone's high school is a little bit different. And here in Colorado, the high schools that you'll find in the Denver area are a lot different than you may find in rural Colorado, right? And so, excuse me, we will never hold the context of your high school against you. So if your high school doesn't offer AP or IB or dual enrollment, we're going to know that because every high school sends us a profile of all the types of classes they offer. So if your high school doesn't offer APs or IBs and your transcript shows that, we will look at your school's profile and go, okay, cool, that makes sense. The high schools have different academic infrastructures. Now, if you go to a high school that does offer a lot of APs and IBs, and you choose not to take any, that's a little bit of a red flag, right? Because there's a little bit of a disconnect. You had the option to take hard classes, but you chose not to take hard classes. But if your high school doesn't offer those AP or IBs, we will never hold that. We'll never hold that against you.
Awesome. And our next question, lots of people were asking about our short responses in comparison to also the Common App essay. Do you recommend doing the Common App essay? Should they also do the optional short responses? How will that help students?
Yeah, so Colorado School of Mines is primarily looking at those short essay responses, and if you've chosen to take advantage of those. Now, other universities on the Common App want the Common App essay. And if you choose to share with us the Common App essay, we'll absolutely read that. Anything you share with us, we will absolutely read because that's part of your story. That's about who you are. But our admissions evaluation process primarily focuses on, did you take the opportunity to write our short essay responses? And did you give authentic, thoughtful answers to those short essay responses? But like I said, we will look at the Common App essay if you choose to share that with us. Now, if you're applying on the Common App, you're probably applying to numerous universities. So you're probably having an essay in your back pocket anyway because of the other universities requiring it. So share it with us because we always like to know your story.
Awesome. Thank you, Luke. And our next question is really talking about letters of recommendation, right? You said 2 is a good rule of thumb, but should those 2 really come from professor or high school teachers, or should they really come from the athletic department outside of school? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm going to boil it down to something simple. Get a letter of recommendation from someone who knows you and who can speak to you positively. We get letters of recommendation all the time from a teacher that says, I don't know this student. They just asked me to write one of these. And that's obviously not great. And then we will get letters of recommendation that really aren't letters of recommendation. They're more of letters of unrecommendation. So let's boil it down. Get it from people that can talk about you positively and people that know you. The types of people that you should approach to write the letters of recommendation, I would say at least one of them should be a teacher, because we want to know about your academic prowess. We want to know about your work ethic in the classroom. We want to know, how do you take on challenges, or how do you solve problems? If it's a math science teacher, great. If it's an English, humanities, social sciences teacher, great. We just want to get to a sense of how you work in the classroom. The second letter of recommendation could be another teacher. If you want to get 2 teachers, great. If you want to get your high school counselor, great. You want to get a coach or a pastor or a scout leader or a band leader that can talk about you and maybe your character, that's great as well. But I would encourage at least one of them being an academic letter of recommendation. You maybe have applied for a job and your parents might know this. There's character references and professional references. The teacher is the academic professional reference. A coach or a director or a counselor is the character reference. So one or the other, or 1 or 2 teachers is great. Just please do not have a family member fill it out. We get a lot of uncles who write letters of recommendation. I don't want your uncle. I want a teacher or somebody that can speak to your character that's not related to you.
Thank you for that one. And with that same kind of theme, talking about additional pieces on the application. Students were wondering really about what sort of ways they can go about adding any portfolios or special projects, or how they can really show off those pieces of their lives.
Yeah, so there's definitely, the application is only really a snapshot, right? And there might be a lot of great things you've done outside, or that you're not able to properly disclose in the application, because maybe the application doesn't give you the space to do so. There are two things you can do. One, every single one of you, if you apply to Minds, will get an applicant portal. An applicant portal is where you get to check your status of your application, and it's where you'll get your admissions decision. The applicant portal allows you to upload more information, so you can upload a resume or potentially upload some documents there, in addition to what the application you put in the application. And then the second way is you can always email us, admissions@minds.edu, admissions@mines.edu, admissions@minds.edu. You can always email us stuff and just say, hey, please add this to my application. Make sure that your first name and last name are clearly on that email, and we will work with our operations and systems team to upload that and attach it to your application. Corinne, do you mind if I touch on one thing real fast? When you apply to us, and I've talked about that November 1st deadline. When I mean November, when you apply to us by a deadline, we need a complete application. And a complete application is an application and a transcript. So if you apply to us on November 1st and you only submit the application, but we do not have a transcript from you, you didn't meet the deadline because your application is not complete. So whenever you see our deadlines, it is you have to have a complete application with us. And the bare minimum items for a complete application, I cannot emphasize this enough, is application and a transcript. That is why I encourage all of you to apply in mid-October, because if it buys you time to get all your transcripts to us, or get your high school transcript to us, so that way your application is complete by November 1st and successfully meets our deadline.
Awesome. Thank you, Luke. And I know we are getting a lot of questions about AP and IB credits transferring in. I'll leave that up to some of our admissions folks in the back. If y'all could drop a link to those AP and IB sheets that we do have available online. And then this next one, we have just about enough time for 2 more questions. This next one, Luke, is a 2-parter. So you talked about applying early, kind of stressing that. What are some other benefits to that applying early, specifically with first FYSAE, SLCs, and honors programs? Can you talk more about those?
Yeah, so applying early, there's the strategic significance and kind of like the internal, like fun significance. So getting it in early just allows you to get all the paperwork set. You're not stressing about it. It allows time to get us all the documents, letters of rec, and getting an admissions decision by the holiday season is nice, right? Also, there is an advantage percentage-wise of getting in if you apply to us early. Like I'll say it again, you have a higher chance of getting into Minds if you apply to us early. Just flat out tell you there. Also, getting a decision by the holidays means when you see family at the holidays, you get an answer, you have a solid answer to one of life's most annoying questions. What are you doing after high school? You're probably getting that question a lot. Where are you going to apply? What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. The nice thing about getting that decision early is you can say, hey, I've been accepted to one of the top 5 STEM schools in the country. So I have an option there. So there's kind of that strategic and that internal kind of anecdotal advantage as well. And another thing that Corinne highlighted was there are several other programs you can apply to. Believe it or not, for Minds, if you apply for admissions, the applications don't stop. We do have 2 honors programs for first-year students. We have signature learning communities within our residence halls that students can apply for, and getting that process starting early and getting into us early gets that process going. And then we also have that first year semester abroad experience in France that only accepted students can apply to if they get admitted to us early. All those applications that I'm listed for all those programs those due dates are going to be before students who apply to us late even though they get in. So don't shortchange yourself by applying late and missing out on some really cool opportunities. I know you've already applied to us once, and you're going to apply to scholarships, and you're going to apply to all these programs, so there's a lot of applications. But if you wait to apply, even wait till November 2nd, you might limit your experience here at Mines from some of our cool opportunities that we offer for accepted students to potentially pursue.
We have time for one more question, then we'll go over some dates here. So we've gotten lots of questions about, do we look at upward trends when we're looking at grades, and maybe something happened in life, where or how or should students talk about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think your senior class is probably one that has a lot of that. And here's why. Every single one of you, COVID hit when you're in 8th grade. That's kind of crazy, right? COVID hit when you were in 8th grade. And for some of you, you went from middle school to high school without finishing middle school, really, right? And for some of, depending on where you lived, maybe you did your first year virtual and your first year in high school was 10th grade. Maybe you did your first 2 years virtual, who knows? So there was a huge academic disruption for your high school experience, right? COVID, plus there's the other things, there's the other life things as well. And so we absolutely love to see the grades going up. We love to see the grades going up. You have to contextualize that though. You have to give reasons why your grades weren't where you were at any point in your, or where you wanted them to be at any point in your academic experience. Letters of recommendation from a teacher giving context is a great way to do it. Talking about it in your personal essay is a great way to do it. Even sending us an additional essay. You can send us more essays. Giving context to a lower grade is great. If you choose not to contextualize it, it hurts you. But if you give us some context about why your grade maybe wasn't where you wanted it to be, the more we know, the better.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Luke, and thank you for your answers to all of those questions. On our last slide here, we do have some upcoming dates. These are all in-person events. We'd love to have y'all if you are available. And a lot of these questions, if we were unable to get to them, could be answered in person by our admissions counselors through these dates. So upcoming first, we're actually going to have some football Saturday tours. This is where we partner with athletics. You'll go on a campus tour, and then you'll actually be able to talk to students that currently go here, as well as our admission staff, and get a free ticket to one of our games. So super awesome option to register for that. Invites will be going out tomorrow for those football tours. And then Discover Minds is our large open house event. Invites have already been sent out there, but if you are interested in registering now, I'll go ahead and put that link in the chat, or you can also scan that QR code and click preview days. So that's where all of the admission staff are there to help give you tips and tricks on the application process and really answer any follow-up questions that you may have. And with that being said, our priority deadline is November 1, as Luke mentioned. But thank you all so much. We hope you enjoyed the presentation. This video, the recording, will be uploaded to YouTube on our admissions page in about 24 to 48 hours. But other than that, thank you all so much for joining, and see you next time. Bye-bye.